Tuesday, October 14th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, a New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison after he was wrongfully convicted of murder has died at the age of 77. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And getting ready to rock the rink, we'll head to Wolfville to check out all the preparations for the 2025 Canadian Curling Pre-Trials. Hurry hard.
Plus, supporting a great cause, the Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides program is facing a critical shortfall. We'll find out how we can lend a helping hand. All that and so much more just ahead on the Tuesday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Well, good morning. Come on in. 6:01 on this Tuesday, October 14th, just the day after Thanksgiving. We're so grateful that you've joined us today, and we're beginning our week now. It's a Tuesday, short week, everybody, short week.
Woohoo!
Very short week, Tuesday, October 14th. It's Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador as well.
Thank you for the reminder,
yeah,
yes.
So voters are heading to the polls there. But, you know, I hope you had a great long weekend, too, and enjoyed Thanksgiving with your friends and family. Now it's getting back into the routine of back to school, back to work on this Tuesday, short work and school week.
Yeah, for sure. Weather was the all-star for the weekend where I was in Cape Breton. Absolutely glorious. How's it this morning?
Well, it is cold this morning.
It's crisp, it is.
Yeah, we are going to see temperatures rise to above seasonal for much of the region yet again today. So it's going to be another sunny day for the most part across much of the region, really. So
more sunshine. Okay.
Yeah, more sunshine ahead. We're not really seeing much precipitation in the forecast over the next couple of days. We will be seeing a chance of showers return, but other than that, early this morning, for the most part, it's pretty clear.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to take a live look at Antigonish, a dark start to the day yet again, and it's cold, so make sure to layer up before heading outdoors. Temperatures will be warming up a little bit later on, but as I mentioned, early this morning, quite cool right across the board and right across Atlantic Canada today. Some temperatures below the freezing mark early this morning. Now, temperatures will rise a little bit later on, but as of right now, it is only 5 degrees heading outdoors in Halifax. We'll pull up the current temperatures. And 2 degrees in Sydney, 0 over in Charlottetown with 4 degrees in Fredericton, 6 starting off your day in St. John's, a -1 over in Labrador City. We do have a frost advisory that's still in effect for early Wednesday morning for much of New Brunswick. Keep that in mind if you do have crops in those communities. Over to our satellite and radar, we don't really have precipitation in the forecast, but we do have low spotty shower activity for parts of the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. That will clear out as well, leaving sunshine for much of Atlantic Canada today. Wind will remain light for the most part, but we will be seeing wind pick up for parts of Nova Scotia into the afternoon. As of right now, seeing sustained wind, 24 kilometers per hour in Canso with 20 into North Cape. No wind gusts to report at this time. Could get up to 40 kilometers per hour for parts of Nova Scotia into the afternoon. I'll have a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. A New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison on a wrongful murder conviction has died of cancer. Robert Mailman was only acquitted of the crime less than 2 years ago. He and a childhood acquaintance were convicted in 1984 in the beating death of a St. John man. Despite strong alibis, the pair were found guilty of second-degree murder. Mailman was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in 2023. He was 77 years old. It was a deadly long weekend on roads here in the Maritimes. A 28-year-old Shediac woman has died following a single vehicle crash early Saturday morning. It happened around 3:20 on Route 15 in Lakeville. Police say it's believed she was driving westbound when she crossed the center line, entered a construction zone, and collided head-on with a parked vehicle. Police say the car was engulfed in flames when officers arrived on the scene. The woman was pronounced dead. No one else was in the car at the time. A New Brunswick man is dead following a single vehicle collision near Fall River, Nova Scotia. The crash happened Friday around 3 p.m. on Highway 118. Police say the driver was traveling south when he went off the road and into the median of the highway. A 21-year-old man from Hanwell was pronounced dead at the scene. He was the only person in the car at the time. And a PEI man is dead after a single vehicle crash on Route 132 in the western part of the province. Early yesterday morning, emergency crews responded to reports of a car which appeared to have crossed the center line, ending up in a ditch in Northam. The 32-year-old driver from Tyne Valley was the only person in the car and died of his injuries after being taken to hospital. The emergency call to crews came through an iPhone crash detection call. That's when the phone uses motion sensors and other trackers to determine if a severe crash has taken place and can call emergency lines automatically. A Nova Scotia wildfire is under control after nearly 2 weeks of mainly dry and windy weather. The Lake George wildfire, which broke out September 28th, raged out of control for 2 weeks and required more than 350 civic addresses near Aylesford to evacuate. Now, officials say the fire is responding well to suppression efforts and is not expected to grow past the currently estimated 288 hectares. All evacuees were able to return home last week. No structures were damaged in the fire. 3 Newfoundland and Labrador activists detained by Israel are set to arrive home today. The trio were part of a group of 6 Canadians aboard the Conscience, one of 9 ships in the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The flotilla aimed to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza, but was intercepted by Israeli forces and detained in an Israeli detention facility. They were released Sunday morning and transferred to Jordan. They are scheduled to arrive in St. John's this afternoon. And it is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Liberal leader John Hogan is hoping his party will be elected to form another majority government, but PC leader Tony Wakeham says it's time for a change. He has asked voters to consider whether a decade of Liberal rule has given them better health care or an easier time making ends meet. NDP leader Jim Dinn believes the election will be a referendum on the Liberals' leadership. Key campaign issues included a proposed energy agreement with Hydro-Quebec, the province's debt and deficits, healthcare, and the cost of living. Finally, the 4th annual Booktoberfest took place over the weekend in Halifax, and as CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, it was a time for dozens of local authors to meet, mingle, and also promote their newly released books.
Inside Halifax's Central Library, a buzz was in the air as dozens took part in Booktoberfest.
Booktoberfest puts a spotlight on authors who have published in the last year. It got its start in 2022 when we wanted an opportunity to celebrate with writers the books that they published over the pandemic. All of these writers couldn't have book launches back then, so it started off as that kind of celebration.
Since then, it's blossomed into a place where many more could showcase their work.
My book just came out a few weeks ago, and I thought this was a great opportunity to come out and meet people of the community and promote my book, as well as meet other authors.
This year had more than 60 local authors in attendance.
Well, we have so many wonderful publishers in the Maritimes, including Nimbus, who published both of my last books. And I think this is just a great opportunity for us to get out and make sure that people know who we are and what we're writing about. A lot of us are writing about the Maritimes.
The event also allowed the community to browse new books and meet the creators behind them.
I get to talk to lots of people. Whether they buy or not, it's not really, it doesn't matter, right? They meet you, they talk to you, they know about the book, they go around, they come back, you know, they're assessing you out. But at the end of the day, it's the camaraderie. They are continuously looking to learn about you and your craft.
And organizers say 'tis the season to buy local.
It's a great time to stock up on books now because, you know, cozy fall reading time is just around the corner, as well as the gift-giving season. So if you can support authors and local bookstores by buying local, we really appreciate it.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Vanessa. Oh, yeah, so true. This is the time of year you really love to cozy up with a good book.
I love the excuse to be inside and cozy up sometimes.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to give away some money. You could buy all the books you want. Your morning just got a whole lot richer with our staggering $20,000 giveaway. And guess what? It's time for today's code word. So the word is breakfast. That sounds good to write about now, actually.
Yeah, it does.
Plug that code word into our website. In a moment, a QR code is going to pop up on the screen. That takes you directly to the contest page. Just simply put in the word breakfast today and then tune in again tomorrow for another code word and another chance to win.
Ooh, wouldn't it be delicious if you won that?
I love it. I really would. We can't win, but wouldn't it be fun?
It would be. We would be buying a lot of books, that's for sure. We're going to take our first break here on this Tuesday morning. We're going to say good morning to capital of Newfoundland and Labrador, St. John's. Many Newfoundlanders heading to the polls today when they open for the provincial election. Latavia has your full forecast, and I'll have national news after this.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:12. We're taking a live look at Argyle Street in Halifax. A cold, dark start to your day. 4 degrees as you head out early this morning. Keep that in mind when you are getting dressed to head out. You may want to add some layers on. It's going to be cool across much of the region. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. And as you can see here, pretty cool start to the day. 3 degrees as you head outdoors this morning in Fredericton, with 1 in Charlottetown and in Sydney. 6 degrees starting off your day in St. John's, 0 over in Labrador City. We do have a frost advisory in effect today for early Wednesday morning. This is for later tonight. We're going to see those temperatures really begin to cool down. This is for most of New Brunswick. Keep this in mind if you do have crops across that region. Over to our forecast timeline. So we are going to see lots of sunshine in our forecast today, looking at either mainly sunny skies to mainly cloudy skies for parts of New Brunswick. Into the afternoon, much of the same expected. We will be seeing some increasing cloudiness for parts of the Maritime region, still being left with lots of sunshine. Taking us into tonight, we are going to see a chance of showers return for parts of the Maritime region, low and spotty in its activity with that risk of frost developing for parts of Nova Scotia and most of New Brunswick. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, we're looking at daytime highs between 14 to 17 degrees. Lots of sunshine across the province, increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. Still being left mainly cloudy skies for the central region. Prince Edward Island's looking at highs between 14 to 16 degrees and seeing lots of sunshine across the province today as well. For Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia, looking at highs between 14 to 18 degrees, being the warmest into Truro and Sheet Harbour. Looking at lots of sunshine for you as well. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, highs will range from 17 to 18 degrees. We do have a chance of some isolated showers early in the morning for the southwestern region, clearing out, seeing sunshine into the afternoon. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, seeing lots of sunshine across both provinces today with a high of 13 degrees in Labrador City, 9 over in St. John's, Newfoundland. Into Wednesday's forecast, we're going to see some isolated showers return for parts of the Maritime region, seeing a chance of showers and or flurries for parts of Labrador. And then into our forecast for Thursday, seeing scattered showers return for much of Atlantic Canada. So that's a look at your weather forecast on this Tuesday. Now we'll throw things over to Amanda for your national, international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 6:15. This morning, U.S. President Donald Trump is returning from Egypt, where he led world leaders in signing a symbolic agreement to try and bring peace to the Middle East. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more on the emotional reunions and what's next for the region.
This morning, President Trump returning home from the Middle East after securing a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. The president now declaring the war is over in Gaza, as he warns there's still a long road ahead.
Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
It comes after an emotional day in Israel and Gaza. In Tel Aviv, celebrations erupted in what's become known as Hostages Square, as families were reunited with loved ones. As part of the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, Hamas releasing 20 living Israeli hostages and the bodies of some of the deceased hostages. In exchange, Israel releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. But now the focus shifts to what's next. When pressed to talk about phase 2, President Trump would not commit to a two-state solution for the Palestinians.
I'm not talking about single state or double state or two-state. We're talking about the rebuilding of Gaza.
More than 20 world leaders gathered for yesterday's historic peace summit and the signing of the ceasefire agreement. But notably absent were Israel and Hamas. Experts say the memorandum appeared largely symbolic and vague. Another question moving forward, will Hamas be willing to give up its weapons? President Trump says Hamas has been given approval to rearm to serve as a Palestinian police force for a period of time.
I don't see any scenario in which Hamas is going to 100% willingly give up all their arms to the Israelis.
Former President Biden, whose administration laid the groundwork for the deal, posted on social media to congratulate Trump, saying, "I'm deeply grateful and relieved this day has come," and thanking him for getting it over the finish line. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And Canada's Prime Minister was among the world leaders who gathered in Egypt for the signing of the Middle East ceasefire agreement, though some were visibly absent. CTV's Joy Malbin has more on that.
A moment Donald Trump is reveling in, celebrating a ceasefire, the return of the hostages and release of Palestinian prisoners in a peace deal he helped broker.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too.
Signing a document on a Gaza ceasefire, Trump says, will clarify rules and regulations on his 20-point peace plan. Surrounded by world leaders from Europe and the Arab world.
Where's Canada, by the way? Where are you?
Even giving a shout out to Canada, calling the Prime Minister president. Mark Carney calling the ceasefire a turning point towards lasting peace.
We've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Using the power of his presidency, Trump declared the war is over. Notably, Israel was not in Egypt for the signing. Neither was Hamas.
Today, for the first time anyone can remember, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us.
As thousands of Palestinians fled back to what's left of their homes in famine-stricken Gaza, now the difficult part, keeping the peace. Will Hamas disarm and leave power for good? If they don't, what next? How will Gaza be governed? And what of Palestinian statehood?
I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a temporary ceasefire. Questions related to governance, disarmament in Hamas, an international stabilization force. None of those aspects have been agreed to by Hamas. They're very much in control of Gaza and expanding their control.
Trump has put his brand and name to this deal, saying now the rebuilding begins. Up to 200 U.S. troops will monitor the peace plan rollout in Israel, but Egypt is asking for more boots on the ground to be stationed in Gaza.
CTV's Joy Malbin reporting in Washington. Finally, the Toronto Blue Jays have lost to the Seattle Mariners with a final score of 10-3 in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series.
Line to center. Right at Varsho. He'll make the catch. Suarez will tag and score.
The Mariners jumped out to an early 3-0 lead, but the Blue Jays battled back to tie the game in the bottom of the second inning. The Mariners then got a 3-run home run in the top of the fifth and scored more runs later in the game. That loss for the Jays means Seattle is ahead 2-0 in the best-of-7 series. And Game 2 is tomorrow in Seattle. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, our colleagues from TSN will have your must-see moment. That's on the other side of the break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Welcome back. Almost 6:24 on this Tuesday, October 14th. And it's time to check in with the friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hi, everyone. Mark Rowe inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for it, we're going to head to Buffalo. Sabres taking on the Avs. Martin Necas drops it off to Nathan MacKinnon. And check out the one-touch dangle before putting the backhand pass Alex Lyon. An unreal move by MacKinnon to get around Ryan McLeod. And a great finish as well. He had 2 goals in the game, and that one is your must-see moment for Monday. Tonight on TSN, you can catch the Canadian men's soccer team in an international friendly against Colombia, with coverage getting underway at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN 1 and 4. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
All right, so we're going to talk about the 3-day forecast. Today, we're looking at an above seasonal daytime high for New Brunswick, 15 degrees. Looking at a mix of sun and clouds starting off the day, increasing cloudiness for the central region, being left with mainly cloudy skies. On Wednesday, we're looking at some isolated showers moving in across the province with a high of 13. Cooling down on Thursday with a high of 10. Scattered showers return across the province. For Nova Scotia, looking at a high of 17 degrees today, seeing some isolated showers for the southwestern region, clearing, leaving sunshine across the province. Sunshine continues on Wednesday. We do have showers into the evening, and then on Thursday, a high of 12 degrees and scattered showers continue. For Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine today with a high of 16 degrees, 15 on Wednesday. Sunny skies continue for much of the day. Showers arrive into the evening, and then on Thursday, scattered showers across the island and a high of 12. So definitely seeing pretty warm temperatures for the most part. Crystal, still remaining above seasonal, and that's exactly what we saw into Thanksgiving weekend.
The weather was a star.
Oh yeah.
I love that it wasn't too warm. It was
I know.
so crisp. It was perfect. I got out and I was in Cape Breton. Oh my gosh, the hills were alive. With
oh my goodness.
The Sound of Music, actually, literally, because Celtic Colors was going on. We went to a show. It was wonderful. And we went Sunday. We went to the church that my in-laws attend, St. Margaret's of Scotland Church, celebrated 200th anniversary. So that was really fun. There were baked goods aplenty, and I was very happy. Delicious sugar cookies. So shout out to everybody who volunteered for that. You got out too this weekend.
Yes, we got to go to the Scarecrow Festival in Mahone Bay. Met so many wonderful viewers, which was really nice. And love that little town. It's so gorgeous. And we just walked around and soaked it all up. All foliage. It was really nice.
It was perfect. So this is a great opportunity for you. If you did actually get out and about this weekend, you caught some of the fall color, send us your photos. We'd love to share some with our viewing audience. You can text us at 10400, or you can always send us an email. And we would love to see what you were up to this weekend. Okay, it is now 6:27. Take a little break and be back with more of the show right after this. Coming up this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. Are you having Thanksgiving leftovers for dinner today? Do you have a way to use up leftovers that deserves praise? We want to know all about it. That's just ahead on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic, Canada. Are you still full from the Thanksgiving meal over the weekend? I am. We have leftovers, and I couldn't be happier. Thanksgiving has quickly become one of my favorite holidays and times of year. I mean, gosh, like this weekend was beautiful, sunny,
so nice.
warm, a little cooler at night or in the morning, great conditions, and everywhere you went, the fall colors were just putting on a show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stunning.
So easy to be grateful when you look around, for sure. And I was just thinking, what a bounty of delicious food we had, and we were surrounded by family, and my brother and sister-in-law, Amy and Dan, they have 4 kids, and the kids are just like so fun, so full of energy. And they treated us to every meal. Like I didn't have to lift a finger.
That's amazing.
One night we had lobster rolls.
coming
next
year.
Gosh, yes. It was an incredible weekend. So I love food. And yes, we had to wear the stretchy pants because we definitely got our fill this weekend. But I think a lot of us, luckily, those who are lucky are in the same boat.
Yeah, so hopefully you had a great weekend, and even if you didn't get together with family and friends, hopefully you got some rest.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing too, yeah. So weather-wise, you said what is seasonal around this time of year? For
usually like 12 to 13 degrees is what we usually classify as seasonal.
Okay.
So we are still getting those temperatures above seasonal for the most part, which is really nice. Things will slowly moderate into the end of this week. But as of right now, it is another dark start to the day early this morning in Moncton. 2 degrees starting off your day, so quite cold early this morning. You will want to layer up before heading outdoors, but we will be seeing those temperatures warm up a little bit later on. As of right now, though, 2 degrees as you head outdoors in Fredericton, only 1 in Charlottetown and in Sydney, 4 degrees over in Halifax with 0 in Labrador City, 6 degrees into St. John's. A frost advisory in effect early Wednesday morning for much of New Brunswick. Keep that in mind if you do have crops and plants in those communities. Over to our satellite and radar, we are seeing a bit of precipitation in our forecast for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Early this morning, looking at some isolated showers, but that will clear out, and we will be seeing lots of sunshine for much of Atlantic Canada today. So because of that, still talking about the sun safety, keep this in mind. It is tracking moderate across all 3 maritime provinces, remaining low to moderate throughout your day for both Newfoundland and Labrador. In terms of the wind out of the east this morning, a bit breezy for parts of the region into the afternoon, but as of right now, 26 kilometers per hour in Canso, 19 in North Cape with 15 into Sydney and Grand Manan. No wind gusts to report at this time, but could get up to 40 kilometers per hour for parts of Nova Scotia into the afternoon. I'll have a look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 6:33. A New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison on a wrongful murder conviction has died of cancer. Robert Mailman was only acquitted of the crime less than 2 years ago. He and a childhood acquaintance were convicted in 1984 in the beating death of a St. John man. Despite strong alibis, the pair were found guilty of second-degree murder. Mailman was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in 2023. He died at the age of 77. It was a deadly long weekend on maritime roads. A 28-year-old Shediac woman has died following a single vehicle crash early Saturday morning. It happened around 3:20 on Route 15 in Lakeville. Police say it's believed she was driving westbound when she crossed the center line, entered a construction zone, and collided head-on with a parked vehicle. Police say the car was engulfed in flames when officers arrived on scene. The woman was also pronounced dead at the scene. No one else was in the car at the time. A New Brunswick man is dead following a single vehicle crash near Fall River, Nova Scotia. This crash happened Friday around 3 p.m. on Highway 118. Police say the driver was traveling south when he went off the road and into the median of the highway. 21-year-old man from Hanwell was pronounced dead at the scene. He was the only person in the car at the time. And a PEI man is dead after a single vehicle crash on Route 132 in the western part of the province. Early yesterday morning, emergency crews responded to reports of a car which appeared to have crossed the center line, ending up in a ditch in Northam. The 32-year-old driver from Tyne Valley was the only person in the car and died of his injuries after being taken to hospital. The call to emergency crews came through an iPhone crash detection call. A Nova Scotia wildfire is under control after nearly 2 weeks of mainly dry and windy weather. The Lake George wildfire, which broke out September 28th, raged out of control for 2 weeks and required more than 350 civic addresses near Aylesford to evacuate. Now, officials say the fire is responding well to suppression efforts and is not expected to grow past the currently estimated 288 hectares. All evacuees were able to return home last week. No structures were damaged in the fire. 3 Newfoundland and Labrador activists detained by Israel are set to arrive home today. The trio were part of a group of 6 Canadians aboard the Conscience, one of 9 ships in the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The flotilla aimed to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza, but was intercepted by Israeli forces and detained in an Israeli detention facility. They were released Sunday morning and transferred to Jordan. They're scheduled to arrive in St. John's this afternoon. It is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Liberal leader John Hogan is hoping his party will be elected to form another majority government. But PC leader Tony Wakeham says it's time for change. He has asked voters to consider whether a decade of Liberal rule has given them better health care or an easier time making ends meet. And NDP leader Jim Dinn believes the election will be a referendum on the Liberals' leadership. Key campaign issues included a proposed energy agreement with Hydro-Quebec, the province's debt and deficits, health care, and the cost of living. Originally from Ottawa, a couple brought their family to a small New Brunswick community during the pandemic. And a few years later, turned their home into a music venue and event space. CTV's Derek Haggett has their story.
Darling, you've gone too far.
Just imagine what it must be like to have a concert venue in your very own dining room.
It's super fun, obviously, to have shows happening in your house. It's odd, also, to have shows happening in your house.
Stephanie Muir and her husband Dave bought the 125-year-old home sight unseen during the pandemic and then moved from Ottawa to Riverside, Albert. The couple came east with their children because they wanted to buy a large property and regroup as a family. A few years later, the kids moved on.
Dave and I were left here with a big house, wondering what we were going to do.
That's when the idea for the Moonbrook Manor arose, and the Muirs turned their historic home into a boutique event space. Corporate gatherings, small weddings, pub nights, and house concerts for up to 25 people.
It's not so much that it's a modern theater or anything like that. It's just that it's a wonderful place to be.
They opened around 10 weeks ago and have had several live music performances in the intimate setting. It's mostly acoustic shows with a small handful of musicians on the tiny stage.
We're keeping sort of smaller than big bands anyway, because as beautiful as it is, it's a little bit smaller than a lot of venues.
The home was in pretty good shape when they arrived and saw it with their own eyes for the first time. Now they're sharing it with music lovers and curious customers.
Being able to open up the house to our community and our neighbors and our tourists, because we're right on the 114, and just getting people in to see this beautiful home.
A real sight to see in the coziest of atmospheres. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Riverside, Albert, New Brunswick.
Ooh, I love it.
Very cool.
What an adorable, charming home. And the fact that they've opened it up and they've made it this local music venue, that is so cool.
So I love a cool old house.
Nooks and crannies to explore.
Right, I love traveling too, and this is fun. If you're headed off to Rome, a one secret passageway in Rome's Colosseum has been open to the public for the first time. So it's the passage of Commodus, and that allowed emperors to enter the arena and watch gladiator fights without having to mix with the crowds.
Yes.
Officials in Rome say it's going to give people a chance to appreciate what it was like to be an emperor. Isn't that neat? I did go to Rome. Went to see the Colosseum. I didn't go inside. My husband and daughter did. I didn't choose to do that tour, but
yeah, maybe
next time I will, because this looks pretty cool. The movie Gladiator, a lot of people love that movie. The passage is named after, there's a fearsome Roman emperor in the movie. That's Commodus. Well, this is his passageway.
Ooh, wow, and going the fancy passageway.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, listen, I'm not above leftovers, and maybe you are neither. We're going to take another break on this Tuesday. Lots more to come, including the Move Morning Chat. We're still talking turkey and other Thanksgiving leftovers, and you can get in on the conversation. That's coming up after Latavia's latest look at the forecast here in Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. The time now is 6:43 on your Tuesday morning, taking a live look at Port de Grave. 6 degrees starting off your day and going to see lots of sunshine throughout your day as well, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. A bit of a cooler start to the day yet again early this morning. Temperatures will be warming up a little bit later on, but as of right now, it is 2 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, 1 early this morning in Charlottetown and in Sydney, 4 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, 0 over in Labrador City, and 6 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a frost advisory in effect for much of New Brunswick today. This is for early Wednesday morning. We are expecting widespread frost. Over to our forecast timeline. Isolated showers early this morning expected for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Other than that, going to see lots of sunshine for much of Atlantic Canada. For parts of New Brunswick, we'll be seeing mainly cloudy skies. But other than that, going to see that sunshine sticking around into the early evening and then into tonight, partly cloudy skies with a chance of showers returning for parts of the Maritime region, taking us into early Wednesday morning, where we do have some isolated showers expected for parts of the region. For our forecast today, though, lots of sunshine for much of New Brunswick with daytime highs ranging from 14 to 17 degrees. Prince Edward Island looking at highs between 14 to 16 degrees and seeing sunny skies throughout the day as well. And for Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia, highs will range from 14 to 18 degrees, being the warmest into Truro and Sheet Harbour, looking at a mix of sun and cloud as well. Then for the rest of Nova Scotia, we do have some isolated showers for the southwestern region, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud for this part of the province, really, and highs between 17 to 18 degrees. For Newfoundland and Labrador, lots of sunshine for you as well, a high of 13 degrees for Labrador City, a cool daytime high of 9 for St. John's. Over to our forecast timeline for Wednesday, looking at some isolated showers moving in for parts of the Maritime region. For Labrador, looking at some isolated showers and or flurries. And for parts of Newfoundland, still seeing periods of drizzle early in the morning, clearing out into the afternoon. For Thursday's forecast, much of the same expected, looking at some scattered showers for the Maritimes. And then for Labrador, looking at a chance of showers and or flurries, and parts of Newfoundland also seeing periods of showers as well. That's a look at your weather forecast. It's time now for the Move Morning Chat.
Returning to work and school after the long weekend. A lot of us still wearing those stretchy pants after those Thanksgiving meals. If you have any leftovers, what one is your favorite? What's your favorite Thanksgiving leftover dish? Erin, what's yours?
You know what? It's a little bit out of the box, and it's something that an old coworker taught me years ago, and I thought this is brilliant. You guys both love stuffing, so you might know this little hack, but it's taking your stuffing and mashed potatoes. All you need to do is add an egg or two, a little bit of flour, and you can make savory pancakes, okay? My coworker used to make savory pancakes and drizzle them with a little bit of gravy on top. You could just do a little bit of butter, whatever you like, but it's completely outside the box and incredible, so give it a try.
That sounds great. I've got one that I don't know if other people do this or not, and I'm gonna blame my wife's heritage for starting this because she's from Italy, so they don't typically have the whole turkey Thanksgiving dinner sort of thing in Italy. What she would make for leftovers, and still does, and it's everybody's favorite in our family, is this kind of loaded hot turkey sandwich. Now, typically that's hot turkey sandwiches, right? 2 pieces of bread, turkey, gravy, but she puts everything on it. Turkey, potatoes, stuffing, peas, whatever vegetables, then loads it up with gravy. So it's all the Thanksgiving food all together again between 2 pieces of bread and loaded with gravy.
What a meal. Okay, Erin, I'm going to need to get that savory pancake recipe from you because I've never heard of that before. That sounds amazing. I don't know if this is a favorite leftover dish, but I am guilty of doing this. I love making apple and pumpkin pie. That is the thing I do for Thanksgiving. And the next morning, I treat myself to pie for breakfast. Guilt-free. It is the best with a cup of coffee. I mean, where do you go wrong? That is what I do after Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness, keep the stretchy pants on hand. Definitely want to try everything you all just mentioned, but for me, the only thing I contribute to Thanksgiving dinner is my pumpkin cupcakes. I like to bake an extra batch just to have them for the next couple of days if possible.
We'll be enjoying those sweets early in the morning.
Absolutely. So now we're going to throw the question over to you, our viewers. We want to know, what is a dish that you need to have leftover from Thanksgiving? Text us at 10400. Remember, standard message rates and data rates apply.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Well, it's time now to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
People like to talk about phenomenons.
Taylor Swift is celebrating the end of an era, the Eras Tour, that is, with a new 6-part docuseries on Disney+. GMA breaking the news that the series will give fans a behind-the-scenes look at the tour. Disney+ will also be debuting a concert film captured at the final stop of the Eras Tour in Vancouver. Both projects will premiere December 12th. Disney is the parent company of ABC News. Save the date, Bridgerton fans. Netflix has revealed that season 4 of the period romance will air in 2 parts early next year. Part 1 will premiere on January 29th, and Part 2 will premiere on February 26th. The 8-episode season will follow the second eldest Bridgerton son, Benedict, played by Luke Thompson.
No, put Born USA on the shelf. I want this record to feel different.
With less than 2 weeks to go before Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere hits theaters, a final trailer for the film has been released. The new footage shows Jeremy Allen White's Springsteen deciding to shelve his future hit Born in the USA in favor of a different sound on his 1982 album Nebraska. The movie hits theaters on October 23rd. And singer Usher is 47 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News.
And in case you missed it, Canada's only radiation facility is helping researchers shine a light on scoliosis research.
CTV's Haley Mandrick reports on how zebrafish are helping scientists possibly find a breakthrough.
Scoliosis is a condition which causes curvature of the spine, which
can be very debilitating for the 3 to 4% of the population it affects. A recent study conducted with the help of Saskatoon synchrotron is examining how zebrafish can help researchers with early detection of scoliosis in children and teenagers.
They have organ systems similar to humans. They share similar physiology. About 80% of all disease-causing genes are shared with zebrafish. So it allows us to really model human disease states and understand disease mechanisms.
The Canadian light source is similar to an incredibly powerful microscope, which allows researchers to see the atoms and molecules that make up different matter. As a species, zebrafish are prone to scoliosis, and learning more about the potential causes can help with early detection and intervention in humans.
So looking at, for example, a zebrafish, looking at the spine of a zebrafish, because it's small enough, we can study in the laboratory. We can look at how the spine changes due to oxidative stress, and that helps us understand how a disease like scoliosis will happen in the human.
According to Saruna, there is currently no way to determine which children will receive a diagnosis or how severe the condition will become.
And right now, the treatment options really are wait and see. And when the curves begin to progress, we can apply braces, or the surgeons can do corrective invasive surgery of the curvatures.
While there is still plenty of research and testing to be done, Saruna is hopeful that these findings from Saskatoon synchrotron have brought his team a step closer to a new treatment. A clinical study is currently underway at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto to see if these findings in zebrafish could be applied to humans.
What I'm hoping is that because we've demonstrated a simple, non-invasive, over-the-counter therapy can work in our zebrafish models, if this translates, it may be a way of actually preventing severe curve progression in patients.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Wow, that's some cool research. Happening now in local news, it is Election Day. In Newfoundland and Labrador, voters from 40 districts will make their voices heard and select the next provincial government. Plus, it was a deadly long weekend on maritime roads with fatal crashes in all 3 maritime provinces. Those details coming up. And some good news regarding the Lake George wildfire. It's now considered under control. Those details coming up next in your local news headlines. But first, it's a look at the 3-day forecast for the short work week with Latavia.
Thanks, Amanda. It's quite a cold start to the day for New Brunswick. Daytime high above seasonal at 15 degrees and lots of sunshine for much of the province. On Wednesday, looking at a high of 13 degrees, so remaining above seasonal, looking at isolated showers moving in across the province, and then below seasonal daytime high of 10 degrees on Thursday with scattered showers. Nova Scotia will be seeing lots of sunshine for the most part. We do have some isolated showers for the Tri-County area, clearing into the afternoon, a high of 17 degrees. 16 on Wednesday with a mix of sun and cloud, evening showers, and then on Thursday, a high of 12, scattered showers across the province. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 16 degrees today with a mix of sun and cloud. On Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud continues with a high of 15, evening showers, scattered showers across the island on Thursday with a high of 12.
It's Tuesday, October 14th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic. Heading to the polls, it is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. We'll have the latest on that and your other top news headlines just ahead.
And recycling your electronics. If you have a bunch of stuff laying around but don't want to throw it in the garbage, we'll find a way you can safely dispose of those old phones and other electronic gadgetry. That is coming up on the Tuesday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. The time now is 7 o'clock, a whole new hour. We hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and it is going to be quite a short work week. And we are seeing pretty nice temperatures and pretty warm temperatures into the afternoon at least, and lots of sunshine remaining in our forecast.
Well, what else can we ask for, Latavia? I guess maybe some rain. We do need that.
Yes,
but
yeah, that is true. I think a lot of people, too, took advantage of the Thanksgiving long weekend and the good conditions to put out Halloween decorations. Well, quite a few Halloween decorations were up around our neighborhood over the long weekend.
Okay, that time is coming. That is like, that's, gosh.
Yeah.
We're about 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
And Halloween's on a
I keep saying,
Friday.
I feel like October is flying by
It
already,
is.
right?
The whole year.
It is
Yeah.
flying
Well, yeah,
by.
the whole year.
Yeah, coming up in the news, you'll want to watch this. It's a report from Derek Haggett, new this morning, and it's about a really scary house in New Brunswick that's all set to go. So that's coming
Awesome.
up a little bit later.
Okay.
The forecast, not so scary.
No.
It's cold this morning, so layer up before heading out, but we will be seeing it warm up. So can't really complain. And we're going to take a live look at Halifax, a gorgeous sunrise starting off the day. We are going to see lots of sunshine across Nova Scotia today and much of Atlantic Canada. So get outside and enjoy the warm weather ahead. But starting off this morning, it is cool, 4 degrees in Halifax as of right now, and only 2 degrees for Fredericton. 1 currently as you head outdoors in both Charlottetown and Sydney, 6 degrees into St. John's. A frost advisory in effect for early Wednesday morning for much of New Brunswick. And we are going to see some isolated showers early this morning for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. But other than that, that will clear out, leaving sunshine for much of Atlantic Canada throughout the day today. A pretty light wind starting off your day out of the east this morning. We are seeing sustained wind, 26 kilometers per hour in Canso with 19 into North Cape, 15 kilometers per hour in Sydney with 11 into Yarmouth, 15 in Grand Manan. No wind gusts to report at this time. I'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first, another look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. It is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Liberal leader John Hogan is hoping his party will be elected to form another majority government, but PC leader Tony Wakeham says it is time for a change, and he has asked voters to consider whether a decade of Liberal rule has given them better health care or an easier time making ends meet. NDP leader Jim Dinh believes the election will be a referendum on the Liberals' leadership. Key campaign issues included a proposed energy agreement with Hydro-Quebec, the province's debt and deficits, health care, and the cost of living. 3 Newfoundland and Labrador activists detained by Israel are set to arrive home today. The trio were part of a group of 6 Canadians aboard the Conscience, one of 9 ships in the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The flotilla aimed to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza, but was intercepted by Israeli forces and detained in an Israeli detention facility. They were released Sunday morning and transferred to Jordan. They're scheduled to arrive in St. John's this afternoon. A New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison on a wrongful murder conviction has died of cancer. Robert Mailman was only acquitted of the crime less than 2 years ago. He and a childhood acquaintance were convicted in 1984 in the death of a St. John man. Despite strong alibis, the pair were found guilty of second-degree murder. Mailman was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in 2023. He was 77 years old. It was a deadly long weekend on maritime roads. A 28-year-old Shediac woman died following a single vehicle crash early Saturday morning. It happened around 3:20 on Route 15 in Lakeville. Police say it's believed she was driving westbound when she crossed the center line, entered a construction zone, and collided head-on with a parked vehicle. Police say the car was engulfed in flames when officers arrived on scene. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. No one else was in the car at the time. A New Brunswick man is dead following a single vehicle crash near Fall River, Nova Scotia. The crash happened Friday around 3 p.m. on Highway 118. Police say the driver was traveling south when he went off the road and into the median of the highway. A 21-year-old man from Hanwell was pronounced dead at this scene. He was the only person in the car at the time. And a PEI man is dead after a single vehicle crash on Route 132 in the western part of the province. Early yesterday morning, emergency crews responded to reports of a car which appeared to have crossed the center line, ending up in a ditch in North Am. The 32-year-old driver from Tyne Valley was the only person in the car and died of his injuries after being taken to hospital. The call to emergency crews came through an iPhone crash detection call. A Nova Scotia wildfire is under control after nearly 2 weeks of mainly dry and windy weather. The Lake George wildfire, which broke out September 28th, raged out of control for 2 weeks and required more than 350 addresses near Aylesford to evacuate. Now officials say the fire is responding well to suppression efforts, and it is not expected to grow past 288 hectares. All evacuees were able to return home last week. No structures were damaged in the fire. Dartmouth residents can have their say in what happens to a local park. The city says Rolika Drive Park, which is located near Rolika Drive and Caledonia Road, is nearing the end of its usable lifespan. The small park has been flagged by Parks and Rec for future refurbishment. The city wants the community to help inform future park investments and planning. People have until this Friday to complete a survey with their feedback. Also staying with Parks and Rec in Halifax, this is a sign that cold weather will be here before you know it. Halifax's Amera Oval is officially closed for the summer season. People of all ages were out Sunday, roller skating, biking, and enjoying other activities offered at the outdoor facility. That was the last day for free equipment rentals, but not to fret. You'll be able to go there when it's a little colder, because when it opens, it's going to be closed for now, but it's going to reopen for winter skating.
Ooh.
Yeah, but they got to wait till it's cold enough to do that. Usually it's around early December. But I love how there are these summer options for the Oval. I know we've used it for our son for practicing his biking. He did over 30 laps when we were there over the summer.
Really?
Actually,
Fun.
just a few weeks ago, actually.
Oh my goodness.
It's super nice.
It is a great service, unmatched, I think, anywhere in the world.
Always.
And they have a full staff of people. They're maintaining the equipment every day, whether in the summer or the winter. It's a gift. It truly is a gift.
Show your ID. You can borrow the equipment for free.
Yeah, great. Anyone can. Okay. This is for you who love the fast cars out there. Ferrari is going electric. The sports car maker is unveiling images of the parts, not the whole car. This is all we get today. For their first model, it's called the Elettrica. Not Electrica, Elettrica. And it's supposed to have a top speed of 310 kilometers an hour. So anyone worried about missing the famous car roar, no need. The company is promising the car will have a distinct electric Ferrari sound for that. And what the car will look like, we're gonna have to wait and see. Like, this just a teaser. I know.
How many people are going to call it Electra?
Electra. Yeah, I know.
Jennifer Gardner is like, excuse me?
My car?
Yeah. Exactly. I know, Electra. Maybe that name was taken.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But this, you know what, Ferrari? I'm not happy with this tease. Just
show us the real
whole
thing.
Ding dang car.
Oh my gosh. All right. Plenty of people have been still driving their
Good morning. The time now is 7:11 on your Tuesday. We're taking a live look at a beautiful start to the day over in Lockport. 10 degrees early this morning. We do have a beautiful sunrise. Expecting some isolated showers early this morning, but clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. And wind will be breezy in your area out of the east, 20 gusting to 40. It is a cool start to the day for much of Atlantic Canada. Keep that in mind when heading out. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca, and we're taking a look at our current temperatures this morning. It is 1 degree heading outdoors in Fredericton, 0 over in Charlottetown with 1 into Sydney, 3 degrees early this morning in Halifax, 5 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A frost advisory in effect for most of New Brunswick for early Wednesday morning. Keep this in mind if you do have crops or plants in these communities. Over to our forecast timeline. So some isolated showers indicated for parts of the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Other than that, we are going to see lots of sunshine pretty much right across Atlantic Canada. Into the central region of New Brunswick, looking at mainly cloudy skies as we see increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. And then into the evening and overnight hours, still remaining quite clear, just a few clouds returning for Atlantic Canada. Into the maritime region, a risk of frost is expected for parts of New Brunswick as well as into Nova Scotia. We do have some isolated showers returning for parts of all 3 maritime provinces into Wednesday's forecast. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs will range from 14 to 17 degrees. Looking at lots of sunshine for the most part. Looking at some mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon for the central region. And then for Prince Edward Island, daytime highs will range from 14 to 16 degrees, seeing lots of sunshine stretching right across Prince Edward Island. For Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia, highs between 14 to 18, being the warmest into Truro and Sheet Harbour, looking at a mix of sun and cloud throughout your day. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, daytime highs between 17 to 18. For the southwestern region of the province, early in the morning, looking at some isolated showers clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. For Newfoundland and Labrador, lots of sunshine across both provinces today with a high of 14 degrees in Labrador City, 9 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. Into our forecast for Wednesday, we are going to see some isolated showers return for parts of all three maritime provinces, a chance of some showers and or flurries for parts of Newfoundland and for Labrador rather, and then for Newfoundland, looking at some spotty drizzle expected throughout the day. And then for our forecast on Thursday, scattered showers expected for much of the region. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 7:14. Canada's Prime Minister was among the world leaders who gathered in Egypt for the signing of the Middle East ceasefire agreement, though some were visibly absent. CTV's Joy Malbin reports.
A moment Donald Trump is reveling in, celebrating a ceasefire, the return of the hostages and release of Palestinian prisoners in a peace deal he helped broker.
This took 3,000 years to get to this point. Can you believe it? And it's going to hold up, too.
Signing a document on a Gaza ceasefire, Trump says, will clarify rules and regulations on his 20-point peace plan. Surrounded by world leaders from Europe and the Arab world.
Where's Canada, by the way? Where are you?
Even giving a shout out to Canada, calling the Prime Minister president. Mark Carney calling the ceasefire a turning point towards lasting peace.
We've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
Using the power of his presidency, Trump declared the war is over. Notably, Israel was not in Egypt for the signing. Neither was Hamas.
Today, for the first time anyone can remember, we have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to put the old feuds and bitter hatreds behind us.
As thousands of Palestinians flood back to what's left of their homes in famine-stricken Gaza, now the difficult part, keeping the peace. Will Hamas disarm and leave power for good? If they don't, what next? How will Gaza be governed? And what of Palestinian statehood?
I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a temporary ceasefire. Questions related to governance, disarmament, and Hamas, an international stabilization force. None of those aspects have been agreed to by Hamas. They're very much in control of Gaza and expanding their control.
Trump has put his brand and name to this deal, saying now the rebuilding begins.
Up to 200 U.S. troops will monitor the peace plan rollout in Israel, but Egypt is asking for more boots on the ground to be stationed in Gaza.
CTV's Joy Malbin reporting in Washington. Finally, the Toronto Blue Jays have lost to the Seattle Mariners with a final score of 10-3 in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series.
Line to center. Right at Varsho. He'll make the catch. Suarez will tag and score.
The Mariners jumped out to an early 3-0 lead, but the Blue Jays battled back to tie the game in the bottom of the second inning. The Mariners then got a 3-run home run in the top of the fifth and scored more runs later in the game. That loss for the Jays means Seattle is ahead 2-0 in the best-of-7 series. Game 3 is tomorrow. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, what are you going to do with all those old electronics? We'll have information on how to properly recycle them. That's coming up after this short break. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Here's your reminder that Your Morning Atlantic is giving away $20,000. It's time for today's code word. Today's code word is breakfast, so you can head over to the contest page on ctvatlantic.ca or scan the QR code on your screen. Enter breakfast along with your information for a chance to win Your Morning Atlantic's $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow for a brand new code word. Good luck. All right, we're going to throw things over to Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia, at 7:21. Now, the Recycle My Electronics program wants to encourage you to bring it. That's the slogan for EPRA's latest campaign to encourage people to bring their end-of-life electronics to safe and convenient drop-off locations to do better for the planet. Here with more is Melia Parker, the Executive Director of the EPRA Atlantic Canada. Thanks for coming in, Melia.
It's great to be here, as always.
And your timing is spot on. What's today?
Today is International E-Waste Day.
Perfect.
And we want to actually take the waste out of that e-waste.
We love it.
Because it is not meant for the landfill. It's meant to be reused or recycled.
Okay, and it's wonderful that more of our viewers are going to be able to participate in EPRA's programs. Talk about what's happening with New Brunswick.
Yes, so we do have our program across Atlantic Canada, but new coming up in January is the addition of small household appliances to the program in New Brunswick. So that's been in the works for quite a while in Prince Edward Island.
Yeah.
Last year, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland came on board, and as of January 1st, small household appliances, I like to say everything from your air fryers to your hair dryers, can be recycled through our program for free.
That's amazing. All right, let's get into some of the specifics. We're going to start off with some of the things that you can recycle. Obviously, we think of computers for electronics, but what do you do with the items when they're actually dropped off?
Right. So if you drop off an item with us, it will quite quickly be transferred to one of our approved processors.
Yeah.
And there, they actually take it apart, the first step by hand. They take it apart because they have to take out things like batteries that could cause a fire, anything data bearing. We want to make sure that that gets shredded into small pieces so it can never, the data can't come off it. Still recommend you remove your data before it comes into our program as a best practice. And then all those individual materials, whether it's plastic, glass, the different types of metals, they get broken down into smaller pieces until they can be put back into the manufacturing stream. Perfect. So it really is a circular process, which is in line with Circular Economy Month, which is October.
Wonderful. Okay, now this, with computers, you also do sometimes reuse the actual computers themselves.
We have a reuse partner, so we are a recycler, but reuse is important. So I always say, if your iron still works, donate it, give it to a friend, your phone, whatever. But if it's end of life, then it should come into our program.
Okay.
Now, we do partner with different thrift stores and things to make sure that anything that doesn't sell, we get it. And Computers for Schools Plus is our reuse partner for data-bearing devices. So especially for businesses that have larger quantities, they might be doing a computer refresh, we can work with them to get those computers to Computers for Schools Plus so that they can fix them up and get them back into circulation in a school or with another a senior or someone else who needs a computer.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's a quick reminder for our viewers out there. The Bring It programs for ordinary people in their homes, but the Book It program is for businesses to get rid of large-scale removal of items.
That's right. We know that for businesses, it can be difficult to transport those quantities to one of our collection sites. And so you can go through our website, www.recyclemyelectronics.ca. There's a business page, and that has a Book It option for us to come and get those devices.
And if you want to bring it, that we put the website for EPRA on ours as well, where you can find out the closest depots to you, because there are a lot. Oh, we've got a call coming in. Hello? And they're saying we just have about 30 seconds left. So let people know that not only are we saving the planet, but we're actually literally reusing what you're calling critical minerals.
That's right. I know, right? Yeah, so all of these devices, you hear a lot these days about the need for critical minerals and mining. So essentially, when you recycle your electronics, we're mining these electronics for the valuable materials that are inside them. And it just makes sense. Why would we throw that in the landfill?
So much greener than, actual mining, of course, is a necessary industry, but if we can reuse what's already been mined,
yes,
wonderful stuff.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
Okay, you mentioned batteries briefly when we talked about computers, but this is in the Fire Safety Month this month. They are talking about lithium battery safety.
Right.
Talk about recycling lithium batteries safely.
Absolutely. So the big message I have about that is many of these devices do have batteries in them. And if you throw them in the trash, they get compacted, and that can start a fire. If it's in our device and you put it into one of our recycling programs, it will be safely recycled. The risk of fire is extremely, extremely low. So in the device, in our bag, and we'll make sure it gets handled appropriately.
I know it's so tempting to maybe just take these items and throw them in a black bag and tie it off, but that does actually put a fire risk at your home and then once it's taken.
It does. It's a bigger fire risk. It also doesn't protect your data when you put it in a black bag. Once it's in the garbage, anyone can take that out as well. Okay. So much safer for many reasons to go through our program.
Amelia, thank you so much.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
We are going to now turn our attention over to Latavia.
Thanks, Crystal. We're taking a look at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick. A daytime high of 15 degrees today, seeing lots of sunshine for much of the province. And then on Wednesday, looking at a high of 13, isolated showers return. And on Thursday, looking at a high of 10, scattered showers for the province. For Nova Scotia, a high of 17 degrees today. For the southwestern region, looking at some isolated showers, clearing, leaving sunshine across the province. Sunshine continues in our forecast on Wednesday with a high of 16, evening showers. And on Thursday, looking at a high of 12 with scattered showers across Nova Scotia. Prince Edward Island looking at a high of 16 degrees today with a mix of sun and cloud. 15 on Wednesday with evening showers. On Thursday, looking at scattered showers across the island with a high of 12.
Coming up this half hour, getting ready to rock. We'll head to the Annapolis Valley where they're preparing for the 2025 Canadian Curling Pre-Trials. That conversation in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning. Hope you had a great long weekend. Thank you so much for joining us. The 2025 Canadian Curling Pre-Trials. We're going to be heading to Wolfville shortly. There's a lot of excitement happening there right now because I was there over the weekend for the Valley Harvest Marathon. We were just doing the 5K with my son, and they had a little sheet set up so you could play a little bit of curling. So we were doing that as a family, and we won 2 tickets to the pre-trials.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. Not expecting it. Super fun, really exciting. But yeah, the Annapolis Valley is the place that you'll want to be, and those details are coming up.
Looking forward to that, plus Devour Food and Film Festivals happening as well.
Yeah.
So there's not that you need an excuse to go to the Valley because it's wonderful, but great reason to go this weekend.
Absolutely, and it's going to be quite nice if you're out there today or into the weekend. A little bit cloudier this weekend, but still going to be pretty nice temperatures. Warming up into the afternoon, but as of right now, it's feeling quite cool.
A lot of people warming up their Thanksgiving leftovers too.
Oh yeah.
So before we get into weather, I want to remind you that you can send us a text at 10400 when it comes to Thanksgiving. What's your famous leftover dish? So when you send us a text, let us know what that dish is, explain it a little bit, and don't forget to include your first name and where you watch from. And I'll have your answers a little bit later in the show.
All right, now we're going to head over to Cape Sable Island. Beautiful sunshine early this morning, lots of clear skies, and currently 12 degrees in your area. So some areas are already beginning to warm up. Others are on the cooler side. Just keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning for your commute. As of right now, 1 degree in Fredericton, 0 in Charlottetown with 1 in Sydney, 3 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, -1 over in Labrador City, and 5 degrees into St. John's. A frost advisory in effect for early Wednesday morning for much of New Brunswick. Over to our satellite and radar. We do have some isolated showers for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. That will clear out, leaving sunshine for much of Atlantic Canada today. Increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, still being left with mainly cloudy skies for parts of New Brunswick. For the wind across all 3 maritime provinces remaining quite light, we will be seeing wind pick up for parts of Nova Scotia into the afternoon. As of right now, 24 kilometers per hour in Canso, 15 into Sydney and Grand Manan, 13 for North Cape and Yarmouth. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll have another look at your long-range forecast, but first, another look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
It is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Liberal leader John Hogan is hoping his party will be elected to form another majority government, but PC leader Tony Wakeham says it's time for a change. He's asked voters to consider whether a decade of Liberal rule has given them better health care or an easier time making ends meet. And NDP leader Jim Dinn believes the election will be a referendum on the Liberals' leadership. Key campaign issues included a proposed energy agreement with Hydro-Quebec, the province's debt and deficits, health care, and the cost of living. 3 Newfoundland and Labrador activists detained by Israel are set to arrive home today. The trio were part of a group of 6 Canadians aboard the Conscience, one of 9 ships in the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The flotilla aimed to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza, but was intercepted by Israeli forces and detained in an Israeli detention facility. They were released Sunday morning and transferred to Jordan. They're scheduled to arrive in St. John's this afternoon. A New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison on a wrongful murder conviction has died of cancer. Robert Mailman was only acquitted of the crime less than 2 years ago. He and a childhood acquaintance, Walter Gillespie, were convicted in 1984 in the death of a St. John man. Despite a strong alibi, the pair were found guilty of second-degree murder. Mailman was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in 2023. He was 77 years old. And it was a deadly long weekend on roads here in the Maritimes. In New Brunswick, a 28-year-old Shediac woman died following a single vehicle collision early Saturday morning. It happened on Route 320 around 320 on Route 15 in Lakeville. Police say it's believed she was driving westbound when she crossed the center line, entered a construction zone, and collided head-on with a parked vehicle. Police say the car was engulfed in flames when officers arrived on scene. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene, and no one else was in the car at the time. A New Brunswick man is dead following a single vehicle crash near Fall River, Nova Scotia. That crash happened Friday around 3 p.m. on Highway 118. Police say the driver was traveling south when he went off the road and into the median of the highway. A 21-year-old man from Hanwell was pronounced dead at the scene. He was the only person in the car at the time. And on the island, a PEI man is dead after a single vehicle crash on Route 132 in the western part of the province. Early yesterday morning, emergency crews responded to reports of a car which appeared to have crossed the center line, ending up in a ditch. The 32-year-old driver from Tyne Valley was the only person in the car and died of his injuries after being taken to hospital. A Nova Scotia wildfire is under control after nearly 2 weeks of mainly dry and windy conditions. The Lake George wildfire, which broke out September 28th, raged out of control for 2 weeks and required more than 350 addresses near Aylesford to evacuate. Now, officials say the fire is responding well to suppression efforts, and it's not expected to grow past the 288 hectares. All evacuees were able to return home last week. No structures were damaged in the fire. It is still a few weeks away, but one New Brunswick man is already in the Halloween spirit and scaring people in his neighborhood once again. CTV's Derek Haggett has that story.
It seems like every neighborhood has that one house where the owner goes all out with the Halloween spirit every year. On Ashbourne Avenue in Riverview, that home belongs to Kevin Whitaker. For almost 20 years, he's been scaring kids and some grown-ups with this horrific collection of the dead and undead.
At times it can be a lot of work. Putting it out takes a lot of time, takes pretty near 2 days. But building it is fun. I enjoy it. It kind of gives me peace.
There's everything from a graveyard, an interactive tunnel, zombies, a creature spewing radioactive waste, and the devil himself watches over it all. It's all made by hand.
And that's kind of the biggest thing for me, to see his excitement out of it, for people to come by and they're excited to see it up, and it kind of gives him joy.
I get people will walk down the street at, on the 30th of September wanting to know, when does it go up? We can't wait. And then I see them every day for the rest of the month.
The neighbors, well, they love it too.
When Kevin started doing this, our kids loved it. They still come, both my kids have moved out, they still come over to see every year what Kevin has done.
What about the younger trick-or-treaters?
It depends. Some of them, they're quite scared. They don't even really want to come up the driveway.
Whitaker says he's getting a bit old to do this year after year, but he'll keep bringing the decorations out as long as his family pitches in, gives him a little bit of help. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Riverview, New Brunswick.
Thank you, Derek. Watch out, someone was staring at you.
That was good.
We're on the right.
So nice, like such sweet community spirit to do that for the community.
It is. You know what? They were asking about the young ones being scared. Let's talk about the adults being scared.
Oh, yeah. All right, this is time of year again, everybody. Move over, groundhogs. It's time for very hairy caterpillar season to help us make the predictions about winter.
You love this.
Yeah, I do love this. So the banded woolly bear caterpillar is found throughout Atlantic Canada and other parts of North America. You've probably seen them. They have 13 segments with hairy bristles. So they're black on the ends and reddish brown in the middle. So the amount of black means the harsher the winter. For example, in this case, mild winter. The more black segments, of course, means a more severe winter. So anywho, this is a cute little guy, but this would be mild winter. This is this is file footage. File footage, everybody. This was not recent. But I did get some footage over the weekend, and I'll show my caterpillar tomorrow. Okay. But if you have any caterpillars in your region, the woolly bear ones, the black and brown ones, take a picture of it, and we'll compare notes.
I had no idea this was a thing.
Oh
yeah.
No, it's a thing. It's a thing. And I always just thought it was how hairy the caterpillar was. and the hairier it was,
Coloring.
then it would be that means it's going to be a harsh winter. And even that I found to be pretty accurate, but it's with this woolly bear caterpillar, it's the color of the bands.
They are adorable.
Yes, they are.
Okay, still ahead on this Tuesday. We're going to take a break, but we're going to hurry to bring you this story. They're getting ready for the 2025 Canadian Curling Pre-Trials in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, and we are checking out the action. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back after this.
Bringing you another gorgeous shot over at McAdam above the train station. You can see beautiful skies early this morning. It is feeling cool, though. Keep that in mind when heading out. 4 degrees in your area. Time now, 7:43 with weather brought to you by ALC.ca. We're seeing a cool start to the day. Temperatures will warm up above seasonal for the most part a little bit later on. As of right now, though, only 1 degree heading outdoors in Fredericton, 0 in Charlottetown, 3 degrees starting off your day in Halifax, 1 in Sydney, 5 into St. John's. A frost advisory in effect for early Wednesday morning for much of New Brunswick. Keep this in mind if you do have crops or plants over in those communities. Over to our forecast timeline, we did see isolated showers early this morning for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia. Other than that, though, just a bit of cloud coverage and lots of sunshine right across the region. Into this afternoon, much of the same expected. We will be seeing increasing cloudiness for the central region of New Brunswick, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Other than that, though, into the evening hours, risk of frost returns for parts of New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. Taking us into early Wednesday morning, we do have a chance of some isolated showers returning for parts of the region. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick. Daytime highs ranging from 14 to 17 degrees, seeing lots of sunshine. We do have increasing cloudiness into the central region of the province this afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Sunny skies also expected across Prince Edward Island today with highs between 14 to 16 degrees. And still remaining above seasonal as well for Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia with highs between 14 to 18, looking at a mix of sun and cloud throughout the day. Early this morning, we saw some isolated showers for the southwestern region already clearing out, leaving a mix of sun and cloud with highs between 17 to 18 degrees. For Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing sunshine across those provinces today with 14 degrees over in Labrador City, 9 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. Wednesday's forecast, we will be seeing some isolated showers returning for parts of the Maritime region, seeing a chance of showers and or flurries returning for parts of Labrador. And then for Newfoundland, looking at some spotty showers activity as well. Into Thursday's forecast, looking at scattered showers for much of the Maritimes. That's a look at your weather forecast. Now we're going to head over to the Valley.
I'm Joe Price. I'm president of the Wolfville Curling Club and co-chair of the host committee for the home hardware pre-trials at Acadia, starting on October 20th to the 26th. And we're here at my home club in Wolfville, Nova Scotia, the Wolfville Curling Center. And today we have Team Purcell, Team Nova Scotia with us, and a group of youth curlers from all the way from Windsor to Berwick.
The last time that I've played at this club, I was probably around 12 or 13 years old. So it's really cool to finally be back and see all the awesome renovations that they have here, and be able to be back out on the ice shed again is really special. And it kind of feels like a full circle moment, kind of, because the last time I played here I was around 12 or 13, and to be able to be out here and work with these kids that are super passionate about the game like I was when I was their age, it feels really special.
This is significant because the path to the Olympics next year in Italy comes through Nova Scotia. The trial spiel is in November in Halifax, where 7 teams have already qualified. This is to qualify the final 2 teams, 1 men's team and 1 women's team, for the trials in Halifax. And one of those teams will eventually represent Canada at the Olympics.
I'm more excited just to kind of take everything in and get to be the hometown team and get to experience having the whole province behind us. I think it's going to be an amazing experience. We have a really good team this year, and we're all on the same page. We have the same goals, same motivations, and I think something that's really important is that we not only want like success for ourselves, but we want success for each other, because we're building a little bit of a brotherhood, and I think that's really important in building a successful team, is everybody having each other's backs.
We really want to say a special thank you to the chicken farmers of Nova Scotia, who are our youth engagement sponsor, and because of their generosity, it's going to allow us to bring over 1,300 youth curlers to the event to watch world-class curling. We just look forward to hosting people from all across Nova Scotia, all across Canada, to show them our hospitality here in the Valley.
Watching it live is just a little bit different. Like, the experience is really cool, and the fans are awesome. And there's even just such an intimate kind of reaction with the players, because you kind of get to be right there and you can see them, and they're right there, and it's quiet. You can hear everything that the players are saying, and it's definitely different, but very cool to watch it live.
You never know, the next champions may be people that attend the pre-trials here in Wolfville.
I think it's just such a cool experience to be out there and get to see and support some of the teams that have put their heart and soul into this game over the last 4 years. And I think it's a fun time, honestly, like the patch, and even just enjoying the company of people that are curling fans. Everybody's really welcoming.
For people who are looking how to get tickets for the event, they are available on the Events Acadia website, and certainly through the week there will be lots of tickets available. As we progress towards the playoffs, tickets will be a little harder to come by, so we advise people to get their tickets early.
Come on out and watch the pre-trials. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a great time there. Health and medical news now. Doctors in China say they transplanted a genetically modified pig liver into a 71-year-old man who lived 171 days after the procedure. And 38 of those days were with the pig organ in place. It is one of the topics in Your Health. It's a first to be published in a peer-reviewed journal. Scientists have had early success transplanting genetically modified pig kidneys and hearts into humans, but experts in this field have had some concerns about whether the liver would be a good candidate for such a procedure. Experts say the results of this new study suggest that pig-to-human liver transplantation shows promise for use as a bridge to help a human who has a serious liver condition live long enough for enough of their own liver to recover, or for a donor human liver to become available. South of the border, California has become the first state to legally define ultra-processed foods and ultimately ban them from being served to school children. The state legislature passed the first of its kind bill last month. It defines ultra-processed food as food which may contain ingredients like high amounts of saturated fat, sodium, added sugar, as well as certain additives. The law also requires public health officials and scientists to decide which ultra-processed foods are most harmful to human health. Foods of concern would then be removed from school menus. The law requires the foods to be identified and phased out in 10 years' time. Finally, researchers in Calgary are seeking your toenail clippings for a lung cancer pilot study.
Toenails are a very good long-term, what we call biological archive of long-term exposure.
Researchers from the University of Calgary say measuring radioactive lead in toenails can help estimate long-term exposure to radon, the second leading cause of lung cancer in Canadians. The colorless, odorless radioactive gas forms naturally when certain metals break down in rocks, soil, and groundwater, and it goes through cracks and gaps in buildings and homes. NB Lung says about a quarter of New Brunswick homes have unsafe levels of radon. The Canadian Cancer Society-funded project is hoping to recruit 10,000 Canadians and their toenails. Participants must test their homes for radon and send in their toenails for analysis.
Introduce you to Maritimers who are marking milestones Sunday. It's a 55th anniversary for Norman and Geraldine Ferris of St. John.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Wonderful. And it's the 69th anniversary for Sterling and Josephine Brown of Pugwash, Nova Scotia. Happy
Beautiful
anniversary.
Photo.
69 years. What an accomplishment. And yes, gorgeous photo.
We do have also one milestone to pass along today. Oh, yep, there we go. It's a happy 103rd birthday for Eva Ross of Bedford.
Eva, happy birthday. Looking spry and happy.
Happy birthday.
103rd birthday, wonderful stuff.
All right, well, to see your milestone again or to find out how to submit one, you can visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance.
Love.
Milestones, brought to you by the Berkeley Retirement Residences. Love this stage of life.
All right, well, if you love all things fall, River Breeze Farm in Upper Onslow, Nova Scotia is calling your name.
CTV's Paul DeWitt takes us to the autumnal oasis.
Hi, I'm Jim Lorraine, and my wife and I, Tricia, own River Breeze Farm in Upper Onslow, Nova Scotia, just outside of Truro. Throughout the years, as our corn maze kept on growing and more people came to the corn maze, we finally got to the point where, hey, we better move it across the road to a bigger space, add more attractions to accommodate the growing crowd. So we're so happy to let everybody know this year we're in a new location, directly across the street from our former location, and we have about 4 times the space, a lot more attractions. We have all kinds of really cool things like our Wild West petting zoo town, and in there you're going to find your llamas and a baby llama just born 4 days ago. Charlie is his name. We also have our pig pens where people can look at all of our little pigs in there. We have goats and holy goats where you can actually feed the holy goats through a hole in the wall, which is hilarious. We have our petting zoo as well, where you can actually go in and pat some goats and sheep. And we have our kangaroos. Those are my babies, of course. It's Millie, Nova, and Edie in there. So that's it for a petting zoo. We have all kinds of neat things for families to do. We have our Build-A-Buddy barn where you can actually go in and bring your own farm animal, stuffed farm animal to life in our Build-A-Buddy barn. All kinds of great things here happening on the farm. This year, one of our major attractions, we added in our new Mega Slide. And our Mega Slide, you can see behind me there, it's a tube slide is what it is, and it is exhilarating. Lineups to that, people really enjoy that one. We have our wagon rides as well, where I tell a lot of really foolish dad jokes on it and give a little bit of history of the farm as well during that wagon ride. But who knew that we would have turned out this way? Not in our wildest dreams did we ever think this would have come to be.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast today for New Brunswick. Lots of sunshine for the most part with a high of 15 degrees, 13 on Wednesday. Isolated showers return across the province and wet weather continues on Thursday with a high of 10. Lots of sunshine for Nova Scotia for the rest of the day today with a high of 17. 16 degrees on Wednesday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, evening showers, and showers continue on Thursday with a high of 12. Prince Edward Island seeing mix of sun and cloud today with a high of 16 degrees, 15 on Wednesday with evening showers and scattered showers on Thursday with a high of 12. Time now, 7:55.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Tuesday, October 14th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, heading to the polls, it is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Voters from 40 districts will make their voices heard and select the next government. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And Dog Guides of Canada. The Lions Foundation of Canada program is facing a critical funding shortfall. We'll tell you how you can help. That's just ahead on CTV's Your Morning Atlantic. Well, hello. Come on in. Brand new hour here, 8 o'clock hour. On this Tuesday, October 14th. Tuesday that feels like a Monday for a lot of people.
Yes.
It was Thanksgiving Monday was a day when really everything was closed and people had a chance to kind of chill out and be able to spend time with family if that's what they chose to do. Any highlights from the weekend you want to share real quick?
Oh boy, just honestly, we celebrated on Sunday, so getting together with family, friends, that was wonderful.
I love that too.
And eating
yes.
lots of pie.
And you?
Same, actually. We celebrated on Sunday, so it was nice just to spend time with the kids and with my family.
It's so nice. Same. And I had leftovers for breakfast yesterday.
Love
Always
it.
love a good pumpkin pie breakfast. I know you're not a big fan of pumpkin pie.
I had pumpkin cupcakes, so
Which I would have
pumpkin.
happily have one of those for breakfast
Still
too.
delicious. If you're in the Halifax area, this is news you can use in terms of traffic, that there has been a collision on the McDonald Bridge, Halifax bound. So one lane is closed, so traffic is slow going, but do keep that in mind if there's somewhere that you need to be in the HRM this morning, that there is a crash on the McDonald Bridge, Halifax bound, down to one lane. So do keep that in mind if there's somewhere you need to be in the HRM this morning.
Absolutely.
Weather-wise.
Yes, something else to keep in mind is the fact that it's quite cool across the region early this morning. Temperatures will warm up a little bit later on, but we're going to take a look at Somerville. And a beautiful start to your day, although cooler, so keep that in mind. Currently 0 in your area. We will be seeing above seasonal daytime highs for much of the region, but cold this morning. As of right now, it is only 1 degree heading outdoors in Fredericton, 3 in Halifax, with 1 in Sydney, 0 in Charlottetown, 5 degrees into St. John's. A frost advisory in effect for most of New Brunswick for early Wednesday morning. We did have a bit of precipitation early this morning for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia, already clearing out. Seeing sunshine for much of Atlantic Canada today, so going to be a beautiful day to head out and explore your area. Pretty light winds starting off the day for all 3 maritime provinces, picking up for parts of Nova Scotia later today. But as of right now, 24 kilometers per hour in Canso, 15 starting off your day in Sydney, with also 15 kilometers per hour in Grand Manan, 13 in Yarmouth, as well as Lunenburg and North Cape. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll have another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first, a look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you so much, Latavia. It is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Liberal leader John Hogan is hoping his party will be elected to form another majority government. But PC leader Tony Wakeham says it's time for a change. He has asked voters to consider whether a decade of Liberal rule has given them better health care or an easier time making ends meet. NDP leader Jim Dinn believes the election will be a referendum on the Liberals' leadership. Key campaign issues included a proposed energy agreement with Hydro-Quebec, the province's debt, health care, and the cost of living. A New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison on a wrongful murder conviction has died of cancer. Robert Mailman was only acquitted of the crime less than 2 years ago. He and a childhood acquaintance, Walter Gillespie, were convicted in 1984 in the death of a St. John man. Despite strong alibis, the pair were found guilty of second-degree murder. Mailman was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in 2023. He was 77 years old. It was a deadly long weekend on maritime roads. A 28-year-old Shediac woman died following a single vehicle crash early Saturday morning. It happened around 3:20 on Route 15 in Lakeville. Police say it's believed she was driving westbound when she crossed the center line, entered a construction zone, and collided head-on with a parked vehicle. Police say the car was engulfed in flames when they arrived on scene. And a New Brunswick man is dead following a single vehicle crash near Fall River, Nova Scotia. This one happened Friday around 3 p.m. on Highway 118. Police say the driver was traveling south when he went off the road and into the median of the highway. 21-year-old man from Hanwell was pronounced dead at the scene. He was the only person in the car at the time. And a PEI man is dead after a single vehicle crash on Route 132 in the western part of the province. Early yesterday morning, emergency crews responded to reports of a car which appeared to have crossed the center line, ending up in a ditch. The 32-year-old driver from Tyne Valley was the only person in the car and died of his injuries after being taken to hospital. 3 Newfoundland and Labrador activists detained by Israel are set to arrive home today. The trio were part of a group of 6 Canadians aboard the Conscience, one of 9 ships in the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. The flotilla aimed to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza, but was intercepted by Israeli forces and detained in an Israeli detention facility. They were released Sunday morning and transferred to Jordan. They're scheduled to arrive in St. John's this afternoon. Finally, the 4th annual Booktoberfest took place over the weekend in Halifax, and as CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us, it was a time for dozens of local authors to meet, mingle, and promote their newly released books.
Inside Halifax's Central Library, a buzz was in the air as dozens took part in Booktoberfest.
Booktoberfest puts a spotlight on authors who have published in the last year. It got its start in 2022 when we wanted an opportunity to celebrate with writers the books that they published over the pandemic. All of these writers couldn't have book launches back then, so it started off as that kind of celebration.
Since then, it's blossomed into a place where many more could showcase their work.
My book just came out a few weeks ago, and I thought this was a great opportunity to come out and meet people of the community and promote my book, as well as meet other authors.
This year had more than 60 local authors in attendance.
Well, we have so many wonderful publishers in the Maritimes, including Nimbus, who published both of my last books. And I think this is just a great opportunity for us to get out and make sure that people know who we are and what we're writing about. A lot of us are writing about the Maritimes.
The event also allowed the community to browse new books and meet the creators behind them.
I get to talk to lots of people. Whether they buy or not, it's not really, it doesn't matter, right? They meet you, they talk to you, they know about the book, they go around, they come back, you know, they're assessing you out. But at the end of the day, it's the camaraderie. They are continuously looking to learn about you and your craft.
And organizers say 'tis the season to buy local.
It's a great time to stock up on books now because, you know, cozy fall reading time is just around the corner, as well as the gift-giving season. So if you can support authors and local bookstores by buying local, we really appreciate it.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Vanessa. And we asked for your photos from the long weekend, and here's an adorable one from one viewer. Do you see the little pup? This is Freddie enjoying a fall walk on the Confederation Trail in Alma, Prince Edward Island. This was taken over the weekend. A big thank you to Stephen Dunn for texting this photo to us.
So cute. Look out, Stephen. I'm going to come steal that dog.
I want to pet that dog. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Great shot.
Oh, adorable. 10400 is the number. You can send us a text for photos and let us know, too, what's your Thanksgiving leftover recipe. We're going to share those answers a little later in the show.
All right, this is a story that's going to get your week started in the best way possible. It's the St. Louis Zoo recently posted videos of a penguin loving life. So this is Boomy, the one-year-old rockhopper penguin reacting to seeing bubbles for the first time. So you keep her set up a little bubble machine at the indoor habitat for a penguin and puffin party. So next time, invite us, please.
So adorable.
Isn't that cute?
It just shows like the type of energy, you know, kids have.
Oh, yeah.
Kids have, just like going.
I love it. Love it, love it.
The adults are like, whatever.
So good. So that's the energy we want you to bring into your week.
Oh, my gosh.
Look at that. Love it.
That is adorable.
By the way, I've been to the St. Louis Zoo. It's free. If you happen to find yourself in St. Louis, check it out. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's amazing. Hilarious. All right, and a reminder too, 10400 is the number you can text us at when it comes to Thanksgiving. What's your famous leftover dish? I'm hungry just thinking of it.
Oh,
People
me too.
are very creative. Those answers will be coming up later in the show, but there is still time to send us a text, 10400. When it comes to Thanksgiving, what's your famous leftover dish? And let us know your first name and where you watch from. All right, still ahead, we're going to keep the animal conversation going, supporting a great cause. Later this half hour, we'll be joined by the Lions Foundation Dog Guides of Canada. That program is facing the biggest financial shortfall in history. We'll look at how we can help. That's just ahead in this half hour of Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:12 on your Tuesday morning. We're taking a live look at Burnt Coat Head. Bit of a cloudy start to the day, but we are expecting lots of sunshine in your area and stretching right across much of Atlantic Canada today. Although a cold start to the day for most. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca, and we are seeing a cool start to the day. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. You may want to layer up. As of right now, it is only -1 in Labrador City, 7 degrees over in St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking at 2 degrees for Fredericton and in Charlottetown, with 4 degrees in Halifax and 3 starting off your day in Sydney. A frost advisory is in effect for most of New Brunswick. This is for early Wednesday morning. We're expecting widespread frost. It could damage crops and plants in those areas. Over to our forecast timeline. We're seeing lots of sunshine for the most part across Atlantic Canada today. Into the afternoon, increasing cloudiness for the central region of New Brunswick, leaving mainly cloudy skies. But other than that, going to see sunshine into the early evening hours. Then temperatures really cooling down, feeling very cold into the evening. A risk of frost developing for parts of New Brunswick as well as into Nova Scotia, taking us into early Wednesday morning. We do have isolated showers expected for much of the Maritime region. Over to our forecast today, though, lots of sunshine for the most part for New Brunswick. Daytime highs will range from 14 to 18 degrees, being the warmest into Fredericton. A mix of sun and cloud expected across Prince Edward Island today with highs between 15 to 16 degrees. And then for Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia, also seeing lots of sunshine throughout your day with daytime highs between 14 to 18 degrees. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at a mix of sun and cloud today with highs between 17 to 18. So definitely seeing those above seasonal daytime highs for much of the region. 14 degrees today for Labrador City with a mix of sun and cloud also throughout your day. Seeing sunshine over in St. John's with a high of 9. We will be seeing some spotty shower activity return for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Isolated showers, so around a 30% chance of it happening. Also seeing a chance of some showers and or flurries for parts of Labrador, and seeing a bit of wet weather returning for parts of Newfoundland. Around periods of drizzle expected. And then Thursday's forecast, looking at some scattered showers returning for all 3 maritime provinces. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Amanda for your national and international news headlines.
Thank you, Latavia. Time is 8:14. This morning, U.S. President Donald Trump is returning from Egypt, where he led world leaders in signing a symbolic agreement to try and bring peace to the Middle East. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more on the emotional reunions and what is next for the region.
This morning, President Trump returning home from the Middle East after securing a ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas. The president now declaring the war is over in Gaza as he warns there's still a long road ahead.
Together we've achieved what everybody said was impossible. At long last, we have peace in the Middle East.
It comes after an emotional day in Israel and Gaza. In Tel Aviv, celebrations erupted in what's become known as Hostages Square, as families were reunited with loved ones. As part of the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, Hamas releasing 20 living Israeli hostages and the bodies of some of the deceased hostages. In exchange, Israel releasing nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. But now the focus shifts to what's next. When pressed to talk about phase 2, President Trump would not commit to a 2-state solution for the Palestinians.
I'm not talking about single state or double state or 2-state. We're talking about the rebuilding of Gaza.
More than 20 world leaders gathered for yesterday's historic peace summit and the signing of the ceasefire agreement. But notably absent were Israel and Hamas. Experts say the memorandum appeared largely symbolic and vague. Another question moving forward, will Hamas be willing to give up its weapons? President Trump says Hamas has been given approval to rearm to serve as a Palestinian police force for a period of time.
I don't see any scenario in which Hamas is going to 100% willingly give up all their arms to the Israelis.
Former President Biden, whose administration laid the groundwork for the deal, posted on social media to congratulate Trump, saying, "I'm deeply grateful and relieved this day has come," and thanking him for getting it over the finish line. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Thank you, Nicole. The Toronto Blue Jays have lost to the Seattle Mariners with a final score of 10-3 in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series.
Line to center. Right at Varsho. He'll make the catch. Suarez will tag and score.
The Mariners jumped out to an early 3-0 lead, but the Blue Jays battled back to tie the game in the bottom of the second inning. The Mariners then got a 3-run home run in the top of the fifth and scored more runs later in the game. That loss for the Jays means Seattle is ahead 2-0 in the best-of-7 series, with Game 3 being tomorrow. A quick break here on Your Morning Atlantic. When we return, we'll have your 20K giveaway keyword if you missed it earlier in the show, and much more. That's much more just ahead here on Your Morning Atlantic. Please stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000. It's time for today's code word. And that code word is breakfast. Head to the contest page on ctvatlantic.ca, or you can scan the QR code on your screen, enter breakfast along with your information for a chance to win Your Morning Atlantic's $20,000 giveaway. Make sure to watch us tomorrow for a brand new code word. Good luck. We're going to throw things over to Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. 8:21. The Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides has matched more than 3,000 Canadians living with a disability with a dog guide, providing them with confidence, security, and independence. Currently, the foundation is experiencing a funding shortfall, which has paused construction on their new national training school. Here to tell us more is Bev Crandall, CEO of Lions Foundation of Canada Dog Guides. Good morning, Bev.
Good morning.
Before we get started, can tell us a little bit more about the kind of impact a dog guide makes on a person's life?
Sure. The impact is far-reaching. Most people think of the dogs as providing, confidence, security, and independence, but it really goes beyond that and can be truly transformational for someone's life, meaning that they might be able to attend school on their own or live independently or be able to get a different kind of job or get more gainful employment because they have the support of the dog guide to help them to live more independently.
Now, there are more than 1,000 dog guide teams across the country. What are some of the more popular types of dog guides?
Well, most people think of our vision program. They think of a seeing eye dog, but we train in 7 different disciplines, including our seizure response program, diabetes alert, hearing program, mobility, autism is probably our most common program, as well as our facility support dogs.
Now, we just saw some images of an artist rendering of a building. That's your new national training school. Why is it so important to have this facility?
We currently operate out of a public school that was built in about the 1930s, and we've added on to it as much as we can, but we have literally outgrown the space. So if we don't have the room to continue to train our dogs or to train them in that space, we're not meeting the demand for our services. But in addition to that, is a building that was built in the 1930s didn't really have a huge focus on accessibility. So our new school is going to allow us to raise and train more dogs and match more Canadians, as well as provide a first-class building with the best accessibility features.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine how important accessibility is in your line of work. So I understand that fundraising is not going as well as you'd hope. You're having your biggest shortfall in history. Tell us about the fundraiser, how we can support you.
Well, we're currently facing a shortfall. Our building project costs us about $80 million, and we need to raise an additional $40 million total to get the project across the line. We have bank funding to come in with 20, but we need another 20. So we're looking to $5 million from the public, and you can help us out by doing any kind of fundraising events, a bake sale, dog walking services, host a dinner party, and make a donation through our website, which is www.dogguides.com.
Yeah, well, we'll put that information on our website to make it easy to find. But what happens if you're not successful in reaching your fundraising goal?
Well, first off, failure is just not an option for us. The programs and services that we provide are far too important for us to fail. And we are working really closely to find a solution. But if we are not successful, it means that we won't be able to provide these life-altering dogs for our clients who need them across the country.
Well, we have put that website on ours, and people in our region are very generous, Bev, so they'll
They
heed the
absolutely
call.
are.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Good, thank you. I really appreciate it.
We're going to turn our attention over to Latavia now.
Thank you, Crystal. We're taking a look at our 3-day forecast. New Brunswick will see lots of sunshine today with a high of 15. 13 degrees on Wednesday. Isolated showers move in across the province, and scattered showers continue on Thursday, cooling down to 10 degrees. Nova Scotia will be seeing isolated showers for the southwestern region early in the morning, but that will clear, leaving a mix of sun and cloud across the province. An above seasonal daytime high today of 17. And then on Wednesday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, a high of 16 degrees with evening showers. And then on Thursday, looking at a high of 12, 9 degrees for your low, and scattered showers across the province. Prince Edward Island looking at 16 degrees today, above seasonal, with a mix of sun and cloud across the island. Sunshine continues on Wednesday with evening showers, a high of 15. Thursday, we're looking at 12 degrees with scattered showers across the island. All right, now we're going to throw things back to Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. I want to remind people how they can connect with us. We love hearing from you. We just saw some lovely fall photos. All you have to do is just simply send us an email. We'll have a graphic up there. But there we go. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca. It's just that easy. Send us an email. We read them all. We love your responses. Also, text us 10400. If you haven't done that before, the very first time you'll be prompted to pick CTV Atlantic. But after that, you and I are connected. We're all connected. We love hearing from you. So again, yes, send us your photos, comments, and really, this is your best way to reach us. We're going to take a break. It is now 8:26. We'll be back with more of the show right after this.
Still ahead, the Afterwards Literary Festival. The November event brings together writers and readers in Halifax, celebrating 7 lucky years. We'll get the details on the festival for readers of all ages in the next 30 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:29, almost 8:30, and getting close to wrapping up the show, but not quite yet. And you know what I love to see? We have so many things taking place across the region, festivals, events, and obviously everyone's getting out to enjoy the fall foliage. So it's really nice that we've had weather. I know we need precipitation, but it's really nice to have weather that we can go on hikes again and just soak in nature.
Absolutely. Make a wish.
Make a wish?
Yeah, make a wish because your hem's flipped up there.
Oh, nice. I need my wishes to come true.
You can make
Listen, if you go to Peggy's Cove, that's something you got to watch the hemline too, because it seems to always be windy there.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true.
That's true.
I'll never forget the first time I went to Peggy's Cove. We went in March.
Yeah.
Wowza.
Yeah, that
You're
was
hardcore.
A bad time to choose to go.
Hardcore.
Bundled up.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not going to be as cold as it would be in March, but it's going to be quite cool over there. So just keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. Cool temperatures across Atlantic Canada. But as you can see here, some sunshine, a bit of cloud coverage early in the morning. We are going to see sunshine stretching right across Atlantic Canada today, so quite a beautiful day to head out and explore your area. As of right now, though, layer up 2 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton and in Charlottetown, 3 degrees starting off your day in Sydney, with 4 in Halifax, -1 over in Labrador City, and 7 degrees into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a frost advisory in effect for early Wednesday morning across much of New Brunswick. Over to our satellite and radar. Not really much to show you early this morning. We are seeing pretty sunny skies for much of the region. Increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, being left with mainly cloudy skies for central New Brunswick. But other than that, sunshine will be sticking around throughout the day. A pretty light wind for all 3 maritime provinces as of right now, 22 kilometers per hour in Canso, 15 in North Cape, with 13 kilometers per hour in Grand Manan, Yarmouth, and Sydney. No wind gusts to report at this time. So we'll have one last look at your long-range forecast. But first, one last look at your local news headlines with Amanda.
Thank you, Latavia. And we begin with developing news in Halifax, and it has to do with traffic. There's been a crash on the McDonald Bridge. As you can see, traffic is down to 1 lane, but it is very slow going Halifax bound. No traffic getting through Dartmouth bound. You can see emergency officials are on scene. No details this morning on the crash itself or if anyone was hurt, but this is impacting the morning commute in the HRM. It is Election Day in Newfoundland and Labrador. Liberal leader John Hogan is hoping his party will be elected to form another majority government, but PC leader Tony Wakeham says it's time for change. He has asked voters to consider whether a decade of Liberal rule has given them better health care or an easier time making ends meet. And NDP leader Jim Dinn believes the election will be a referendum on the Liberals' leadership. Key campaign issues included a proposed energy agreement with Hydro-Quebec, the province's debt, healthcare, and the cost of living. A New Brunswick man who spent 18 years in prison on a wrongful murder conviction has died of cancer. Robert Mailman was only acquitted of the crime less than 2 years ago. He and a childhood friend, Walter Gillespie, were convicted in 1984 in the death of a St. John man. Despite strong alibis, the pair were found guilty of second-degree murder. Mailman was diagnosed with terminal liver cancer in 2023. He was 77 years old. A Nova Scotia wildfire is under control after nearly 2 weeks of mainly dry and windy weather. The Lake George wildfire, which broke out September 28th, raged out of control for 2 weeks and required more than 350 addresses to evacuate. Now officials say the fire is responding well to suppression efforts and it is not expected to grow. All evacuees were able to return home last week. No structures were damaged in the fire. The Toronto Blue Jays are down, but not out in Major League Baseball's playoffs. The Blue Jays were thumped 10-3 by the Seattle Mariners and are now trailing 2-0 in the American League Championship Series. For more on this, we're joined by CTV's Scott Hurst. Scott, what went wrong for the Jays in the first 2 games of this series?
Good morning, Amanda. Unfortunately, a lot of Atlantic Jays fans and fans right across the country waking up after this long weekend wishing they had a lot more to be thankful for on the diamond. Now, baseball is a sport all about numbers, stats, and odds. Well, right now, the numbers don't look good. The stats point to the other guys, and the odds are not in the favor of the Blue Jays. But the boys of summer, now playing into the fall, led the league this season in comeback wins, and they'll need a big comeback in this series to keep any World Series hopes alive. Now, the Mariners feasted on the long ball, knocking out 3 home runs in Game 2, while on Thanksgiving, the Jays' offense looked like it was in a food coma, notably in the middle of the lineup, including Vladimir Guerrero Jr., red hot against the Yankees in the last series. Not even a hit so far in the first 2 games of this series, and the Jays have only scored 4 runs so far. Here's more from fans leaving the Dome disappointed, but also hopeful that it's not over yet.
I have a little bit of belief away from home. I think they could pull something out. I don't know. The bats gotta wake up though.
Oh, there's still 3 games left on the other side, but hopefully we'll see them back here next time.
It's going to be a tough fight in Seattle, but we're really hoping that our Western Canadian fans can go on down to Seattle and cheer them on.
Now, Amanda, so far, Seattle has outscored the Jays in the first 2 games 13-4 and have taken away home field advantage. But I like how you put it in the intro. They're down, but not yet out.
That is so true. And still potentially 5 games left. So what is it going to take for the Jays to turn this around, Scott?
Yeah, a whole lot of offense. So right now the series shifts out west to the Pacific Northwest, to be exact. Seattle, they have an off day today, but the Jays have a workout scheduled in Seattle for later this afternoon. Then games 3 and 4 will happen Wednesday and Thursday, and Game 5 will remain in Seattle, potentially on Friday. And hopefully for Jays fans, now I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves right now, but Game 6 and 7 will be back in Toronto next Sunday and Monday. Now, Jays fans have always proven to show out really well in Seattle. There are so many Jays fans out west, whether it's British Columbia coming down from Vancouver or from Alberta. During the regular season, they often flood to Seattle and really make it feel like a home game. No doubt in the playoffs, Mariners fans will have something to say about that. But the Jays, Amanda, will have to win at least 2 games to bring the series back here to Toronto, potentially for games 6 and 7. As I mentioned, that will happen Sunday and Monday. Getting ahead of ourselves, but of course, always hopeful.
Well, let's hope they do go back to the Rogers Center. Scott, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thanks, Amanda.
CTV Scott Hurst reporting live for us from our national newsroom in Toronto. Finally, different kind of sport here. Runners descended upon Nova Scotia's Annapolis Valley this weekend for a series of races. The 33rd annual Valley Harvest Marathon started and ended at Acadia University in Wolfville. The weekend featured several runs, including youth runs, the ultra and full marathons, a half marathon, 10 5K races. And this marathon takes place each year over the Thanksgiving long weekend. It's tradition for a lot of families to do this run before they have their big Thanksgiving dinner. Conditions were gorgeous, too.
Did you shoot this?
No, I didn't. This was Emma Convey who ran the 10K.
Yes, I saw that.
Emma was out there. Yeah, we were running with our little guy for the 5K, his first 5K race.
Oh.
We paced him. We made sure he did well. But yeah, gosh, saw so many. I love going to these events because you see so many people that you know, too. Happy to cheer him on. A lot of people had a really good race day.
Amazing. All right, well, I wanted to share something fun for those of us who love nature. Scientists are trying to uncover the secrets of high-speed tongues. you know, the likes of salamanders and stuff. Chameleons, they snatch food with their tongues within the blink of an eye. And researchers in Florida think by studying how they work, they can apply the biomechanics to engineering fields like medicine, disaster recovery, and space travel. Those fields may all benefit one day. Also, a great excuse just to use footage of cool things like this.
Ew.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Do you guys ever, when you're at the movies or even at home, put some popcorn kernels on your hand and then like try to do that with your own tongue?
Absolutely not.
I just scarf it right down.
Do you?
Every time.
Like you try to throw it in?
No, I put it in my hand and then I try to extend my tongue to pick it up, like a frog. Try it, it's really fun.
I do like that.
Yeah, I'm like,
oh my gosh. Well, you can pop some popcorn, try that at home in the meantime.
Yeah,
stuff going on in our region.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the community calendar. Come out for an evening of short films as the Outdoor Film Festival kicks off in St. John.
It's outdoor.
Outdoor. Where is it?
Which door?
I don't know. All right, well, we will be celebrating stories of outdoor playgrounds from around the world. It will take place Thursday, October 16th at the Imperial Theater at 7 p.m. For additional details, head over to their website.
That sounds inside. No, it just sounds like a great event.
So silly. All right, and enjoy a night of laughter. A Canadian comedian, Rick Mercer, will be heading to Charlottetown and bringing his tour to the Confederation Center of the Arts. The show takes place this Thursday, October 16th at 7 p.m. For tickets, you can head over to the website on your screen. And Nocturne returns to Halifax this week. Enjoy art at night in various locations across the city. This year's festival takes place from Thursday, October 16th until the 19th and will feature a diverse range of programming, so art installations, performances, workshops, and so much more. For a full list of events, head over to Nocturne's webpage. And if you do have an event taking place, please send us the details. We'd love to promote it on your community calendar. Send it to Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
Thanks a lot for that, Latavia, too. And we have another event that you can add to your calendar, the Afterwards Literary Festival. It's 2.5 weeks away.
Whoa.
Not long until we get that. We're going to get the details from one of the organizers and also an author when we return. It is Your Morning Atlantic, and 8:40 is the time.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:43. While Newfoundlanders head to the polls, it is a cool start to the day. Keep that in mind when heading out. We're taking a live look at a sunny start to the day, though, in Corner Brook, but only 4 degrees. Temperatures will be rising a little bit later on, above seasonal for much of Atlantic Canada, but you may want to layer up before heading outdoors early this morning. Only 2 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton and in Charlottetown, 4 degrees right now in Halifax, 3 in Sydney, and 7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a frost advisory in effect early Wednesday morning for much of New Brunswick. Keep that in mind if you do have crops and plants in those areas. And over to our forecast timeline. We're going to see lots of sunshine throughout your day today. A beautiful day to head out and explore your area. Although a cool start to the day, temperatures will be rising a little bit later on. Into the afternoon for the central region of New Brunswick, increasing cloudiness, leaving mainly cloudy skies. But other than that, seeing sunshine into early this evening. And then we're going to see increasing cloudiness for much of the maritime region with some isolated showers moving in early Wednesday morning for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. For today, though, seeing a lot of sunshine for the most part across New Brunswick with daytime highs between 14 to 18 degrees, being the warmest into Fredericton. Seeing a mix of sun and cloud right across Prince Edward Island with highs between 15 to 16 degrees. And seeing sunshine extended our forecast for Cape Breton, eastern mainland Nova Scotia with highs between 14 to 18. For the rest of Nova Scotia, seeing highs between 17 to 18. We did have isolated showers early in the morning for the southwestern region of Nova Scotia, clearing out, leaving sunshine for this part of the province, and also seeing sunshine for both Newfoundland and Labrador. A high of 14 degrees in Labrador City with a mix of sun and cloud, and a high of 9 degrees for St. John's. Wednesday's forecast, we will be seeing some isolated showers for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Also seeing a chance of some showers and/or flurries for Labrador, and seeing a bit of drizzle for parts of Newfoundland. Into our forecast for Thursday, we'll see scattered showers, so around a 60% chance of it happening for the Maritimes. Still seeing a chance of showers and/or flurries for Labrador, Crystal.
Thanks, Latavia. 8:45. Now, the 7th annual Afterwards Literary Festival is fast approaching. Over 9 days in early November, writers and readers of all ages will gather together in Halifax to celebrate their love of storytelling, reading, and all things books. So joining us this morning is co-founder and co-executive director of the festival, Stephanie Domet, and author Chad Lucas. Thank you both for coming in this morning.
Thanks so much for having us, Crystal.
We love books. Tis a great time to talk about books. Getting cold. I saw you both bristling at that Latavia's mention of flurries.
Flurries.
They're coming, though. Great to have a book on hand to settle in and read. Okay, so Stephanie, you started the festival. Tell us why. It's a fun story.
Yeah, so my friend Ryan Turner and I were both writers. We're both avid readers. And there used to be a literary festival in Halifax, the Halifax International Literary Festival. It ceased around 2008. And he and I got together right away to start complaining about the lack of a literary festival. We did that for about a decade, just constantly. And why doesn't somebody start one, we said to each other. And finally one day we thought, oh, maybe it's us.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start this festival. So we thought, well, let's just give it a try. So 2019, we pulled off our first little festival. It was 4 days, 5 days, I think, in venues around town, and it worked. And so we thought, well, let's just do that again.
I love that. You needed a festival, you create the festival that you want. And
yeah.
It's so great. And it's growing a lot. Now, Chad, you're doing a Children's Day. Let's talk a little bit about that. Experience for kids.
Yeah, this is something that has grown in the festival is, you know, how do we expand this to every audience, because kids love to read books as well. So that's grown over the years. Early on, I did a writing workshop with some youth, and it's grown to a full event at the Halifax Central Library. Hundreds of families show up. There's a bunch of authors, and it's just kind of a literary free-for-all for kids as well.
It's great. I love, it was my kids actually, I think, that first got me going to festivals, just because they sort of, you know, you want something to do with the kids, and then you get looped in as well. How is this festival different than others, since it's the one you wanted? I know you're very familiar with books and festivals.
So my favorite thing is to listen to writers talk about their ideas, or talk about their process, or talk about basically what pushes them to the page. I find that the most interesting. So we, and Ryan too, also we both love those kinds of conversations. So we wanted to create a festival that would like really center kind of what happens, you know, after you write the book and it's out, beyond reading from it, what else is there? And so it's a very conversation-focused festival, but with lots of workshops for writers at all levels. We thought that was really important too, to welcome like beginning writers, but also intermediate writers, and the opportunity for some professional development, to welcome young readers to Kids Day, where they can meet authors and see like that's a possible life, or just how fun is it to meet an author and get a little sticker or stamp or autograph in the passport that they get when they come in the door. We do film screenings, we program at the Black Cultural Center, we program at the Millbrook Cultural Center. We are in venues all over town. We just wanted to make this kind of festival that makes Halifax also a character in the story, you know? Yeah.
Wonderful. It sounds very well-rounded. It sounds like a really great experience. I personally love to hear poets read their work. I find that you read a poem, and then when you hear somebody actually read it themselves, totally different experience.
It really brings it to life. And we have some incredible poets coming this year. Billy Ray Belcourt, who we've wanted to bring to Halifax since our first year. Katharina Vermette, who also we have chased since our first year. They're going to come. They each have a new book of poetry, and they're going to be in conversation with someone I can't believe we get to have in our local community, which is Sue Goyette. The poet Sue Goyette is going to lead the conversation with Katharina and Billy Ray. That's happening on Saturday, November 8th at the Bus Stop Theater, and I think it's just going to be incredible.
Wonderful. We have put a link to the festival on our website to make it easy for you to find. Chad, you joined the board this year, I hear. What are you most excited about for this festival?
It's just a great opportunity to hang out with other writers. That's always a lot of fun. But also just to be around people who are excited about books and excited about reading. I always get a charge of that from that as a writer, especially when I get to hang out with kids who are really excited about reading and writing and creativity. That always kind of fills you up as someone who writes for kids. So it's just anytime you can hang out at a library full of people who love books and love writing is a great time.
It is true. It's truly true. All right, let's talk a little bit. We've got a little extra time. So graphic novels are going to get a spotlight.
Yeah, so there are 3 local writers who have new graphic novels out with the excellent Conundrum Press, which is one of our incredible Nova Scotian publishers. Eleanor Hansen, Veronica Post, and Molly Cronin, who are all incredible writers and illustrators. The Conundrum makes this series of like little graphic novels, and we're bringing Gabrielle Drolet, who has written a memoir called Look Ma, No Hands. She draws for The New Yorker and The Walrus. She's a really accomplished artist, and so we thought, what an opportunity to put these 3 local writers in conversation with each other and with Gabrielle Drolet. So we're doing that on Friday, November 7th at the Bus Stop Theater. And I think that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. So do tickets sell out quickly for these events?
This year they do. I will tell you what. You know, Halifax loves to take its time with the ticket buy, which is always a fun and interesting roller coaster ride if you're an event producer. But this year, I have to say, last year a lot of our events sold out. This year people were like right off the hop buying tickets. So some of our events are pretty close to selling out. But there's room, and there are always, you know, a few people who optimistically buy tickets and then can't make it. And so there's always a little bit of space at the door.
Well, thank you both so much for coming in today, and thanks for organizing this wonderful event in our region.
Thanks for having us.
All right, we are going to, yeah, as I said, that information is on our website to make it easy for you to find. In the meantime, it's 8:51. We'll take a little break and be back to wrap up the show right after this.
Welcome back. It's 8:54, 3 hours gone, just like that.
It's true.
But this is the time where we share your text messages and responses to the Move Morning Chat. Today we've been asking about what is something that you do with all those leftovers from Thanksgiving. And you guys have some like delicious answers, so let's get to it. Cheryl from Crispamsis says, throw all vegetables, all turkey, and thick gravy, and make a yummy turkey stew.
I'm coming over, Cheryl. That sounds great.
On a cold day. Love, love, love. Kathy from Dartmouth says, turkey fritters. Ooh. She tells us how to do it. Take leftover turkey, mashed potatoes, and dressing. Add some dry onion flakes, celery seed, and some savory to taste. Form into patties and fry in butter. Serve with gravy and cranberry sauce on the side.
Yes, please.
Okay, next stop is Kathy's house.
I know. Save that recipe.
That sounds great.
It sounds so good. Jackson from DeBert says mashed potatoes and gravy. Mashed potatoes and gravy is my favorite leftover, sometimes with the stuffing because it's good.
Well said, Jackson. Couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah. And then George from Yarmouth, nice and simple for him, leftover stuffing. I'm with you, George. You're lucky you have leftover stuffing because mine's gone. Finally, these photos, they're going to get your mouth watering. Look at this. This is from Anna Marie Boyd from Murray Corner, New Brunswick. She makes a turkey bake. So she says everything in the fridge goes into this. You can see she's got some turkey. She's putting some mushrooms and peppers as well. In the next photo, she covers it in cheese, and then she folds it up and she bakes it.
So it's like a giant, yummy, like basically a tortilla, burrito, and enchilada.
Yum.
That's a great idea.
Yes, yes,
See, this is the way you got to get the family. I mean, we always put everything out, but after a few days, when you have stuff left over, the family gets tired of that. So you have to get creative, like Anna Marie.
Sit together. I mean, so many people do the hot turkey sandwiches. I just like the straight leftovers. But yeah, as we were saying earlier in the show, having some pie for breakfast.
Why not?
Okay, we are going to just end on a note. If you want to work off your Thanksgiving dinner, to take this guy's, this dad's note. His kids didn't believe that he knew how to dance. We'll check it out.
Awesome. Oh my God! You better kill it. You better kill it. Show me something.
Here he goes. Oh yeah. Still got some moves. Oh yeah. So that's how you can work off your turkey dinner.
Oh, whoa, look at him go,
right?
Look at him.
I want him to teach me that. Love it.
And then his hips hurt for the rest of the day.
So true.
Maybe he stretched afterwards. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. Have a great Tuesday.